Okay, let's get started. So welcome everybody to today's webinar, how Ansys Startup Program can accelerate your product success. Today with guest speaker Koen Kruijsen of C1 Connections and colleague Morgan Jack of Infinite Simulation Systems. They will be the presenters for this online session. Just a quick overview about GoToWebinar in introduction. You have a screenshot of an example of your interface, and in the upper right corner you can see a red arrow which you can unfold this little screen and choose your audio mode and questions. For your information, you will have the opportunity to submit text questions or chats during this webinar. And at the end of this, we will collect your specific chats and or questions. During the webinar, you are automatically muted. And at the end, I will unmute you all. And then you can unmute yourself. This webinar will be recorded and sent to you afterwards with a thank you mail and some attachments. So the speakers for today are Koen Kruijsen of C1 Connections, he's lead engineer, and colleague Morgan Jack of Infinite Simulation Systems. He is account manager of Belgium and Luxembourg. Then the agenda for today is introduction of Infinite and Ansys Startup Program by Morgan. Then a quick overview about Ansys Startup Program, the products and the capabilities. And then of course, introduction by C1 Connection Koen, how Ansys Startup Program can help them. And then of course, finally, the questions and answers. So Morgan, I will hand over to you. Good luck and enjoy for this interesting startup.
Thank you. Yeah, so first I wanted to speak about who we are, Infinite. I'm trying to pass to the next slide. Maybe you can do it for me, Anna, because I see it's not working for some reasons.
Maybe with the cursor, Morgan?
No, it doesn't work. Like, now it works. You did it or I did it?
I did it.
Okay, so if you can do it for me for the next slide, that would be great.
Excuse me. No problem.
Yes, so first, Infinite Simulation System. So we are an Ansys partner for more than 30 years, so since 1988. We are 25 people, and we were last year awarded as a Channel Partner of the Year in recognition of the quality of the support we provide to Ansys and to our customers, of course. At the office here in Breda, we focus our knowledge development mainly on 4 domains, which are structural mechanics, fluid dynamics, electromagnetics, and optics. You can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so in terms of group, for ITGO group, so Infinite is part of a group called for ITGO, in which we support the whole Benelux in digital transformation, and Infinite is, of course, doing that with Ansys Software Solutions. And we have a sister company called Inoptus that is proposing PTC software solutions. So these two software portfolio, PTC and Ansys, are very complementary to help our customer optimizing the whole product lifecycle. Yeah, we can look at the different items we cover. So one of the first item is computer-aided design with PTC Creo. Then with Ansys simulation software, we tackle virtual prototyping, excuse me. Then on the manufacturing side, there are possibilities to simulate the additive manufacturing process, also CNC machining. On the connectivity side, we propose IoT solutions and digital twin solutions. Then we can go to virtual reality and augmented reality. Also product lifecycle management solutions. And in terms of service, we of course propose technical support to our customer and trainings, as well as some consulting activities. You can go to the next slide, Erna, please. Thank you very much. So at Infinite, our office, as I already said, is in Breda. Our sister company, Inoptus, has an office in Breda and also one close to Kortrijk. And in total, we are 65 people, 25 at Infinite, and supporting 800 companies in Benelux. And now in the next slide, I will explain why it's important to look at simulation. Can we go to the next slide? Thanks. We might think of simulation because there are problems we want to solve. For instance, we might have some difficulties to reach some standards that are required to put a product on the market, or because we have difficulties to reach expected performances or reliability, or because there is a malfunction on a product on which we want to find the root cause. And also because we think that the product's development and time is too high, and we want to reduce that. Then, if we look at the company level, so it can simulation can help companies to innovate and manage complexity, but at the same time reduce the time needed to put a product on the market and also the cost needed to develop this product. It can also improve the quality of a product and eliminate risks that we can find, for instance, with uncertainties within the product development process, or with a malfunction in operation. So we try to reduce that with simulation. And then we can have a look at a survey that was conducted by Ansys, in which we identified the leading what is leading companies to do simulation, and the first at the first rank, we see that people wanted to go for simulation because the complexity of the product increased. Also, very close to with 61% of answer, it was because products has to be put on the market faster than before. And also quite significant item was the product quality that apparently increased, and also requires simulation to help companies design these products. Then we'll have a look now at what or who is Ansys. So Ansys is active in the simulation domain since more than 50 years. Started in the 70s, and all Ansys do is simulation. So they were among the first companies doing simulation, but they continuously they are continuously addressing new engineering challenges, and this is notably thanks to 30 strategic acquisitions that were done over the past to always cover more physics and also create interconnections between all these physics and this software. And for this reason, Ansys is now considered as a global leader in multi-physics simulation. Next slide, thanks. So Ansys is bringing software solutions to optimize a complete system. And we can look at it at several levels. If we put the product in different categories, so on the platform side, Ansys is proposing products for helping material selection and material data management. Also, cloud computing and optimization is part of the product Ansys propose, as well as multi-physics and interconnections between all these physics. On the system side, so Ansys proposed solutions for doing system modeling, also for going up to a digital twin and connect your twin to a real asset, and use, for instance, virtual sensors and doing predictive maintenance. Also solutions for checking embedded code and doing safety analysis and functional analysis. On the physics-based simulation side, so the domains that Ansys cover are structures, fluid, electronics, electromagnetics, semiconductor domain, and also all the optics, from the geometrical optics to to nano photonics. All in all, it's 85 products that Ansys commercialize. And if we look at some of the, if we go to the next slide, Anna, please. If we look at some of the solutions that are making Ansys a gold standard in simulation, we can, just to name a few, we can quote Ansys HFSS for high frequency electromagnetic simulation, Ansys LS-DYNA for rapid dynamics explicit analysis, Ansys SPEOS for optics simulation, Ansys Fluent for computational fluid dynamics, and mechanical for structural finite element analysis. So now let's have a look at what is the startup program that Ansys propose. So you can go to the next slide, thanks. So what's the startup program? What it has to offer? It gives you the possibility to use an industry-leading software at deep discounts to validate your technology and also reduce the cost and time to market of your products. At the same time, it gives you access to the Ansys ecosystem to help you gain exposure among the whole Ansys community, which can be done, for instance, with your participation to webinars or physical events such as seminars or users meeting. Also publishing articles in common, and also, of course, leveraging the social media activity of Ansys and Infinite. Can go to the next slide, please. Thanks. So the program celebrated recently its 7 years, and there are today about 1,600 startups who join the program all around the world in various industries, actually. Can go to the next slide. Then if we look a bit more closely at the Benelux region, I wanted here to show you some examples from this region. So at the top, you can see two companies, Lightyear and Traxial. These two companies were using the startup program, but they are now running Ansys on commercial licenses, like C1 Connection is doing, but they will explain you more after my presentation. So on the Lightyear, it's a solar company, solar car company. And Traxial, it's a company developing axial flux electric motors, which apparently is a technology breakthrough in terms of power density and also to unlock longer range for electric cars. Then looking at 3 examples of startups that are still using the startup program. So on the bottom left, I mentioned Entleron. So Entleron, it's a company involved in cell therapy. They develop manufacturing process to grow and differentiate the cells in, let's say, a more controlled way and more efficiently. URI, it's a company who helps scientists have their experiments part of zero gravity missions. And so they also put at their disposal specific equipment and hardware in which they can put their experiments, and they ensure that these experiments stay in good conditions, so notably in good thermal conditions. And on the bottom right, you can see SolarDock. It's a company developing offshore solar panels with the advantage that it should be deployable to a large scale thanks to interconnected triangular units that are also leveraged several meters over the sea. So that was for the Benelux footprints of the startup program. Then going to a more general thing. So the first thing if you want to go to this kind of program, the first thing is to discuss with us about your eligibility. So there is a form that Ansys put at our disposal so that you will have to fill. and to complete. And then we discuss together, what's your need, what kind of simulations you'd like to do. And finally, we go for a proposal based on your funding, of the revenue, on the number of software you will need, and the number of persons who would need to use the software. And then you can join the program. So that's the last step. I'm now gonna give some explanations about 3 starter bundles in particular. So the structural and fluid bundle, the electromagnetic bundle, and also the optics bundle. So the structural and fluid bundle, it includes, as you can see, a lot of different solvers. All the solvers includes 2 seats, and they are at the enterprise level, which means it includes all the capabilities Ansys proposed in these domains. And you can run simulation up to 500 cores. So on the structural simulation side, we can mention, which can be performed with this program. So thermal analysis, static analysis, like strength and buckling analysis, dynamic analysis, like vibration and acoustics, but also rapid dynamics, like crash test or virtual drop test. On the fluid dynamic side, you could perform steady and unsteady flow analysis, multi-phase flow, conjugated heat transfer, also particle tracking, and even include solid particles with the fluid flow. And it also includes, on the top of the structure and fluid capabilities, it includes also OptiSlang for optimization and up to robust design optimization, and also Grenta for material database and material selection tools. Then, speaking about the electromagnetics bundle on the next slide. So you can see for electronics enterprise. So this includes actually several solvers like SI-Web, HFSS, HPAC, XWell. With this bundle, you can tackle high frequency and low frequency electromagnetic type application. For instance, for power electronics or for radio frequency type analysis. Magnetostatic simulation is of course possible. You can import ECAD and then do signal and power integrity of your PCB. You can extract parasites. You can even do thermal simulation of your PCB to detect the hotspots and help you size the thermal management system. So there is a specific solution for it. Very easy to use. And then you can also go for typical high frequency type application like antennas, wireless applications. There are possibilities to include the surrounding environment, as you can see on the bottom left. And this can be done very efficiently thanks to a asymptote solver also included in the package. And there is also possibilities to do preliminary electric motor design with MotorCAD and also optimization. And then the last slide from my side to speak about the optics bundle. So that includes, we mentioned optics and photonics actually, so it includes ray tracing methods and also wave optics methods. So you have three software that are Zemax, Speos, and Lumerical. This software can be used to design the complete optics system with all the lenses. It can be used to do lighting simulation, including the human eye modeling, even having realistic rendering of your lighted equipment. You can perform heads-up display simulations. It's more for automotive. Sensor, all kind of sensor that you can simulate, optical sensor that you can simulate with it. Automotive or street lighting. Also, you can see the infrared inspection. So you can tackle the visible light, also UV light, near infrared and far infrared. And then in terms of more photonics, just to conclude on that one. So you can model how the light goes through the micro lens, then hits the sensor, and it goes into the silicon to be transformed into electron or electron holes. And then you can basically, with this package, you can get the global performance of a camera and the final image a camera could get, including stray light effects. Also, it's also something that's possible with this software. So yes, if you have any question on this at the end of the presentation, you can ask any question. I will try to answer them. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Morgan. And I
hope I was in time.
Hand over to Koen.
Hey, good afternoon all. My name is Koen Kruijzer. I'm the lead engineer at C1 Connections. I've been involved with the product that we're working on since the very beginning. And I was invited by Anna to share a little bit on our experience with Ansys and specifically the startup program with you, because as I understand, you're all in a startup phase with your companies, or pre-startup phase. And I can hope that our experience with Ansys can help you make a decision to join or not. So yeah, thanks Anna. If you can see if it does work for me. No,
yeah, I hand over to you. Yes, it does.
Yeah, and now it does. Oh, perfect. Thanks. Oh, sorry, just figuring that. So first I want to introduce C1 Connections as a company and our main product, the C1 Wedge Connection. C1 Wedge Connection is a new type of structural connection for wind turbine support structures. So that's the typical wide cylindrical towers you see onshore, but also specifically in offshore applications. So the wind turbines that are being installed in the North Sea and all around the world. And the wedge connection is an alternative to the standard connection. And we focus on increasing the strength, so the capacity, improving the safety of the people who install the connections, and reducing the amount of maintenance that needs to be done on these type of connections. As a company, we started in 2019, but with the product, we actually started a few years before that. And right now we are a team of 6 people, and we're really getting close to full-scale commercial rollout. And yeah, with the amount of renewable energy, specifically offshore wind turbines that are being installed right now in the coming years, we really see a big market for this type of connection. There we go. Why do we need a different connection than the standard? As an industry, this problem has only been spotted over the last couple of years, but yeah, we've been aware of it for a longer time. That with the increase in turbine size, the loads are increasing. And it's not just the rotor that's increasing; it's also the towers that are growing taller and taller. And yeah, for the default standard L-Flange connection, the higher loads means tighter tolerances, and actually many of the next generation wind turbines that are now being designed cannot be connected anymore with a traditional connection. So an alternative is clearly needed, and especially when you go to more exotic places where you've got hurricane and typhoon conditions. Right now, most of the offshore wind turbines are installed in the North Sea, but you now see also many companies looking towards the Atlantic, Pacific Ocean, where you simply have got different environmental conditions than what we're used to here in Western Europe. In some positions, you've got earthquakes, and these all increase the loads on the support structure. And next step to that is even one step further. If you go to floating wind turbines, where you even got even larger loads due to the motion that's inherent in that type of design. On the right hand side there you see a quick one-to-one comparison of the size of the default L-Flange connection on the left and our proposed alternative, the C1 Wedge connection. And you immediately see that the overall height is similar, but it's a much slimmer design. So the amount of steel that is in the connection is simply reduced. But the biggest difference is the size of the bolt. In the left-hand image, you see this guy standing next to a bolt, and it's basically as big as his torso. And these bolts can weigh up to 50, 60 kilograms. So they're almost impossible to handle by yourself. While on the right-hand side, you see our fastener, which is a much slimmer package, and the bolt size is about half of the traditional one. So that also means that the tools that you need to install this type of connection are much lighter. A second point is that it's the standard connection requires maintenance because it's a simple bolt. Yeah, you have to retighten this nut every now and then under the dynamical loads of the wind turbine structure. While in the C1 wedge connection, that is not necessary because we've got a wedge type system that locks the bolt in place. Here you see a direct comparison of the bolt sizes we were talking about. So on the left, you've got our system, and on the right, you've got the current industry standard. It's a massive difference in size. A bit of the history about our company. About 5.5 years ago, I started my MSc thesis at TU Delft. And the topic of my thesis was work out from a very first sketch the principle of this wedge connection. Does it work? How does it work? How does it scale? So I worked on that for 3/4 of a year. And then we felt pretty good about the design that we had. So we started doing scale down fatigue testing, again with TU Delft. So I basically continued under my professor, doing some tests in the lab. That all went quite successfully. So in 2019, we started the company, C1 Connections. And yeah, we had a focus on improving the modeling. So that's also where we properly started using Ansys, but I'll get to that later. And improving the design in general. In 2020, we did another round of testing at TU Delft, but also in the first commercial project that was installed in 21. So that was the image you see on the left. That's the, I'll replay it very quickly. You see the camera panning up and down the tower, and right here you see our connection. So that's currently running in the world's largest turbine, 14 megawatt capacity from Siemens Gamesa. This is a offshore turbine, but it's running onshore in Denmark as a prototype field they have installed over there with our connection in it for over a year now already. And this year, actually just last month, we did the first offshore installation of the connection, and I believe this is the video of that one. I hope it plays smoothly enough. It's a very high resolution video. So what we did is we had this upper part of the tower that came in on a barge in the Baltic, and it got lifted by the Tialf, which is a Heerema vessel. It got lifted from the barge like you see here and installed on this bottom part of the tower that's on deck of the vessel. So this is a 4.5 meter diameter connection. Top part is about 35 meters tall, and you basically see all the features of the connection. It's how easy it is to push in the fasteners. You don't need to lift anything. The tools are lightweight, easy to handle. Basically we did the whole installation of the connection in about an hour. Well, for a traditional connection, this would have taken an entire shift, which is 12 hours for these guys offshore. And the installation process went super smoothly. It was all done within a couple of hours. And for us, this really was the one of the last steps in proving towards the industry as a whole that this connection is ready to go to be installed in offshore applications. So it was a really good demonstration. Like I said, we're fresh off the boat in a sense. But we had a good time and everything went really smoothly. Now moving towards Ansys. I already talked about it a bit before. I started using Ansys at TU Delft as part of my my training there as an offshore engineer. So when I started my thesis, it was logical to continue using the educational license I had from there. But quite quickly, once I graduated, we wanted to continue the mechanical structural analysis that we do. So we switched from the educational license to Ansys Mechanical, and yeah, then it was logical that we go to Infinite and apply to the startup bundle. Of course, we were literally a startup. We were 2 people, 0 money, so it was a logical thing to do. And yeah, for 3 years until early this year, we were part of the startup bundle in the structural bundle, as Morgan just presented. We mostly use Ansys Mechanical, but also the discovery module for the geometry modeling. And yeah, because we're a connection, it's logical we focus on contact problems. Geometrical imperfections is a very big topic in the industry as a whole, but also specifically for the wedge connection, because you've got quite a lot of components that are interacting, which you want to model. And this yeah, quite quickly becomes numerically a big challenge because the structures are very big. 8 meters diameter is very normal for us. And then you want your model size to be in high direction, about 2 times that. And then we're modeling an imperfection of yeah, about 1.5 millimeter in the middle here. So the scale of the problem is very big, but the local zone is very small. That's numerically quite challenging. We always use nonlinear materials. So this is a plot where you see where we attempt to bring the connection to failure. So we keep applying a tensile load until we start seeing the necking in between the holes and yeah, the plastic strains reaching ultimately the failure levels. And we focus on fatigue because it's a wind turbine. It's a very dynamical system. You've got a lot of variation in loading. And what we get from our clients is typically a load spectrum like this with a overturning moment and a number of cycles, and you see number of cycles into the tens of millions. So yeah, fatigue of the steel is a very big problem, and we need to assess that properly. We have developed specifically for fatigue together with Infinite a custom tool to evaluate the fatigue damage in the most sensitive components of our connection, whereby we have a Ansys script that evaluates the results. We take it to an external program to calculate the fatigue damage based on the load spectrum, and then go back to Ansys to plot the damage in a way like this. And this is really something that is quite unique in the industry. It's not commonly done in this way. But yeah, we do see that it connects really well with our clients to see the damage plotted like this, and yeah, then we can do a proper evaluation of the risks. As I mentioned, we've been part of this startup program from 2019 when we started as a company until early this year. And yeah, it has really helped us to validate and demonstrate our product to customers, prospective customers, from the very beginning of our company. The offshore industry is a conservative bunch. It's all about safety, and it's all about risk evaluation and proving that you have a good product. And I think without a industry standard tool like Ansys Mechanical, this would not have been possible. Yeah, you can see here I took this screenshot from my thesis 5 years ago towards the kind of models that we're running now. We've grown a lot, we've learned a lot. We've also improved on the IDs, and that's where as the combination of the space claim and mechanical comes in to quickly iterate through new IDs and develop our product in that sense. Now we've run out of the startup program, starting commercial rollout of our product. So we now this year switched to commercial licenses. We've got 2.5 people, I always say, using Ansys, 2 people full time, and I myself, I've switched more to project management, but every now and then I still get to use Ansys. As I mentioned, we focus now on this custom fatigue evaluation tool using a mechanical APDL scripting. That's working really well. And now recently, the last couple of months, we're focusing on parametric geometry modeling, because as you can imagine, every structure is different. Sometimes you've got a bit bigger wall thickness, a bit smaller diameter, all kinds of changes, but the overall principle of the connection remains the same. So we're now using SpaceClaim Python scripting to model this, and so we can even faster do iterations and checks for our customers. And this also, of course, ties it back to setting up the model in a parametric way in Ansys Mechanical. And one very good benefit, and that's in our industry, is really true. Most of our clients are also using Ansys, so it's easy to share files. People recognize things, and yeah, in order to ensure that our clients have enough trust in us, this really helps a lot. The picture again of the fatigue tool. I think this concludes my presentation for right now. Thank you, Anna, for the opportunity to share our story here a little bit. I hope it's been clear to you. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to help and happy to answer anything.
Okay, Koen, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And we go to the next slide because we also would like to share something about if you want to know more about your benefits as a spin-off, startup or scale-up, just connect and contact us. The PDF will also be shared with you of this presentation. So yeah, I will unmute everybody. If there are any questions, please let us know. So I've unmuted everybody. You can unmute yourself to ask questions. So please go ahead. Yes.
Hello, this is Pradeep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So my question is, along with startup like Ansys startup program, is there an Ansys developer program similar to this, or a developer network? Like Autodesk, for example, has a Autodesk developer network, which allows people who are developing using Autodesk products, custom solutions. So is there something similar in Ansys?
I can answer that, Anna.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for your question. No, there is no similar thing. However, we are always happy to hear your particular situation and to answer your needs the best we can. So there might be different solutions to support you starting up a specific activity. But that's to be discussed together. So yeah, please contact us, but that will not be explicitly in a ready-made developer program as other companies might have. But we can try to hear your concerns and see what we can do.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Are there other questions? Please let us know. Okay, then we will wait a little bit longer. Okay, otherwise feel free to reach out to Morgan or I, or to me or to Koen, no problem. If not, then we will ending this webinar. So really thank you for attending today's webinar. And on behalf of Koen, of course, and Morgan, we thank you for joining today and wishing you a really nice afternoon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.